Hayes looked out from the observation window of the research station. The Planet 7 stretched below him, covered in strange purple and blue vegetation. He worked in the maintenance division, fixing pipes and checking computer systems. It was not exciting work, but liked it that way. He did not need adventure. He did not need drama. He just wanted to do his job and be left alone. The research station hung in space above 7. Humans and aliens worked together here, studying the planet's unique biology and atmosphere. Diplomats moved through the corridors in their formal clothes. Scientists argued about data in the labs. Soldiers from different species kept watch, stayed away from all of them. He did his maintenance work during the night shift when the station was quiet. Was 28 years old. He had brown hair and dark eyes. He was not handsome in any special way. He was not important in any way. This was how he liked it. Important people had problems. Important people had politics, just fix things. That night was checking the transport conduit in the lower maintenance section. The machine made a strange sound when he approached. The red light on the control panel blinked very fast. Something was wrong. Climbed up to look at the manual release. The conduit had a crack in it. A small crack, but enough to cause problems. Pulled out his tools and began to work. He did not notice when the conduit suddenly flashed with blue light. 3 hours later, returned to his small quarters in the station. He was tired. He wanted to sleep. He opened his door and stepped inside. Someone was sitting on his bed. Jumped back. His hand went to the emergency alarm on his wall. Then he stopped. The figure on his bed was not human. She had skin like crystal, clear and shining. Light seemed to move inside her skin like water. Her body was long and thin, shaped differently than any human. She had 4 arms instead of 2. Her face was beautiful but strange, with large eyes that were completely black and sparkled like stars. Her hair flowed behind her like liquid glass. But something was wrong with her. One of her legs did not move right. It bent at an odd angle. One of her 4 arms hung loose at her side and did not respond when she tried to move it. Her breathing sounded wrong, like her lungs were not working correctly. "Do not call for help," she said in perfect English. Her voice sounded like wind through crystal. "Did not press the alarm. Who are you?" he asked. "My name is Lyra. I am a princess of the... I do not know how I arrived here. I was on my ship, then something broke. I fell through something, then I was here." She looked around his small room. "This place is very small and very ugly." Looked at his room. It had a bed, a desk, and a chair. The walls were plain gray. There was nothing on them. She was right. It was very ugly. The transport conduit said, "It has a crack. I was fixing it when you came through." Lyra stood up. Her movement was awkward. She had to push herself up using her 3 good arms. Her damaged leg dragged when she tried to walk. She moved very slowly across the room. "I should not be here," she said. "If anyone finds me here, there will be problems. There will be many problems." "Why?" asked. Lyra turned to look at him. Her black eyes were very sad. "Because I am not supposed to be anywhere that is not my home. I am not supposed to leave my palace. I am not supposed to let anyone see me like this." Understood then. The damaged arm, the broken leg, the strange way she moved. "You are sick?" he asked. "I have a disease," Lyra said. "A disease of the body and the mind. My body does not work right. My mind does not work right. This is not acceptable in my family. This is not acceptable in my species. We are perfect. We are advanced. We do not have broken things. We do not have broken people." She sat back down on the bed. She looked tired. "My family tried to give me away," Lyra continued. "They tried to find a prince or a king who would marry me and take me away. 3 men came. 3 important men from 3 important families. They looked at me. They saw my broken arm. They saw my broken leg. They saw my broken mind. They laughed. They said no. They left." Did not know what to say. "My family was ashamed," Lyra said. "They told me to stay in my rooms. They told me I was a problem. They told me I was weak. In my world, weakness means nothing. Weakness means you should not exist. Sat down in his chair. You can stay here, he said. Lyra looked at him with surprise. Why would you do this? Because you need help, said. Because no one should be told they should not exist. Lyra did not say anything for a long time. Then she asked, Are you not afraid of me? Should I be? Asked. I am not human, Lyra said. I am alien. My people have ships and weapons that your people do not have. I could be a danger to you. Shrugged, you can barely walk. I do not think you are much of a danger. For the first time, Lyra made a sound that might have been a laugh. It sounded like crystal chimes. You are strange, human. My name is, he said. Lyra repeated, I will stay in your room, but only for one night. Then I will find a way to return home. Knew this was a lie. He did not know how to tell her that. He knew she was running from home. He knew she had nowhere else to go, but he did not say this. Instead, he said, I will bring you food, and medicine if I can find any. He brought her blankets and pillows. He showed her how to use the small bathroom in his quarters. He brought her water and food from the station's cafeteria. Lyra watched him do all these things with confusion in her black eyes. Why are you doing this? She asked again. Because you need help, said again. Is that not enough of a reason? Lyra looked away from him. In my world, no, that is not a reason at all. Lay down on the floor that night and fell asleep. He did not hear Lyra cry quietly in the darkness. He did not know that she had never been treated with kindness before. He did not know that she was beginning to believe that humans might not be as primitive and worthless as she had been taught. But in the morning when woke up, Lyra was still there. She had not run away. She was still in his room watching him sleep. And for the first time in her life, the broken princess was exactly where she wanted to be. The alarm went off on the station's main network at 600 hours. Was in the cafeteria eating breakfast when the screens came alive with red emergency lights. A voice said that a princess was missing. This was a security problem. All crew members should watch for any signs of the princess. There would be questions for everyone. Was eating a bowl of grain paste when he heard this. He did not move. He did not look up, but inside his chest his heart started to beat very fast. He finished his breakfast slowly. He ate every bite. He drank his water. Then he walked back to his quarters like nothing was wrong. Lyra was waiting for him. She was looking out the small window at the planet below. They know I am gone, she said without turning around. I heard the announcement on your communication system. My family has told the station that I am missing. They want me back. They are afraid of what people will think. What will you do? Asked. I do not know, Lyra said. She turned to look at him. I cannot go back. They will punish me. They will lock me in my rooms again. They will make me see more doctors. They will tell me I am worthless again and again until I believe it even more than I do now. Then we will hide you, said. For how long? Lyra asked. This is a space station. It is not large. There are only 500 people here. Everyone knows everyone. Someone will find out. Knew she was right. The station was small. People talked. People noticed things, but he had an idea. I know someone, he said. Someone I trust. Her name is, she is a scientist. She studies alien biology. She might help. Why would she help? Lyra asked. Because she is a good person, said. Because she understands that people are not just their problems. Found Foster in the biology lab. She was looking at something under a special microscope. She was a woman of 35 with gray hair and smart eyes. She had been on the station for 7 years. I need to talk to you, said, about something serious. Looked up from her work. She saw something in his face that made her understand this was important. She closed her lab and they walked to a small room where no one could hear them. I have something to tell you, said. I need you to keep this secret. I need you to help me, but I know you might say no. He told her about Lyra. He told her how Lyra had come through the broken transport conduit. He told her why Lyra could not go home. He told her everything. Listened without saying anything. When finished, she was quiet for a very long time. "You know this is crazy," finally said. "Yes," said. "You know this could get both of us arrested," said. "Yes," said. "You know they are very powerful and very angry right now," said. "Yes," said. Sighed, "I will help you, but we need to be very careful, very, very careful." For 2 weeks and hid Lyra. They brought her food from different times so no one would notice too much food missing. They brought her books and movies to watch, taught her about human history and human art. Lyra taught about culture and what it was like to grow up in a family that saw you as a failure. Lyra's legs got stronger from walking around small room. Her arm got better after helped her do some exercises. But more importantly, something else happened, and Lyra started to care about each other. Lyra asked questions about his life. She wanted to know why he did not care about being important. She wanted to know how humans could be happy with so little. She wanted to know everything about him. Listen to Lyra talk about her dreams. She wanted to write. She wanted to create art. She wanted to explore the galaxy and see new things. But her family had told her that broken people should not have dreams. "That is wrong," said one night. "Your dreams matter, your life matters." Lyra looked at him for a long time. "In my world, you would be seen as weak for saying such things. In my world, this makes you less than nothing." "Then your world is wrong," said. On the 14th day, something went wrong. An alarm sounded in the station. A warship had arrived. It was in orbit above the station. The commander was demanding that everyone be searched. The commander said that the princess must be found. If the station did not cooperate, there would be consequences. Was in his quarters with Lyra when the message came through. They heard footsteps in the corridors. They heard people shouting. "They will search every room," Lyra said. "They will find me. I cannot hide from my own people." There was a knock on his door. A voice said, "Maintenance check, open up." His hand moved toward the door. Then's voice came through the communication system. "Wait, wait. There is an emergency in the water treatment system. Maintenance crew, I need you in Section 7. We have a leak. A big leak." The footsteps moved away. Had created a problem on the other side of the station. Looked at Lyra. "We need to do something now. We cannot wait anymore." "What can we do?" Lyra asked. "My family will not stop looking for me." "I do not know yet," said. "But I know we cannot give up. I know you matter. I know your life is worth fighting for." Lyra moved closer to him. She put one of her good hands on his shoulder. "Thank you for believing in me," she said. "No one has ever done that before." "Then everyone before was wrong," said. Outside his room, the station filled with chaos. Soldiers searched everywhere. The commander demanded answers. But in small gray room, 2 people from different worlds held onto each other. They did not have a plan. They did not know what would happen next, but they were not alone. And for the first time in her life, Lyra felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be, made his decision in the morning. He went to the station commander's office. He did not tell Lyra what he was going to do. He did not tell. He just walked into the commander's office and asked for time on the main communication network. The commander's name was Carlos Martinez. He was a tough human military officer who had been running the station for 5 years. He looked at with surprise. "You want to make an announcement?" Carlos asked. "Why?" "I need to speak to everyone on the station," said, "and I need to speak to the command ship." Carlos studied his face for a long time. "This is about the princess, is it not?" "Did not lie, yes." Carlos sighed. He was a good man, but he was also a military man. His job was to keep the peace between humans and aliens. His request could start a war. "If you do this," Carlos said, "there will be no going back. Everyone will know. They will be very angry." "I know," said, "but I have to do it anyway." Carlos approved the announcement. 20 minutes later, Every screen on the station and the warship showed standing in the communication center. His hands were shaking, but his face was calm. "My name is Hayes," he said. "I am a human worker on this station. I am speaking to you because I have something important to say." He looked directly into the camera. He spoke slowly so everyone could understand. "Princess Lyra of the came to my quarters 2 weeks ago. She was injured and scared. I helped her. I have been helping her. If you want to arrest me, you can. But before you do, I want to say something." Paused. He could hear people shouting in the background. The commander was yelling orders. "The princess is not broken," continued. "She is not weak. She is not a failure. She is intelligent and kind and brave. Where I come from, we have a very old law. It says that if a man wants to marry a woman and the woman wants to marry the man, no one can stop them. This law exists across all human governments and human colonies." The station went silent. "I am asking Princess Lyra to marry me," said, "and I am asking that this marriage be recognized under human law as is our custom. This is not a trick. This is not a game. I believe that the princess is worth more than what her own family thinks she is worth. I believe she deserves to be treated with respect and love. I am willing to spend my life showing her that she matters." The communication ended, stood alone in the center. He did not know if Lyra would accept. He did not know if they would start a war. He did not know if he had just destroyed everything. The station commander looked at him and shook his head. "You are either the bravest man I have ever met or the craziest." "Probably both," said. They responded with anger. The commander of the warship demanded that be arrested. He demanded that Lyra be returned to control immediately. He said that humans had no right to make decisions for royalty. But something unexpected happened. The human diplomats on the station reviewed the ancient law that had mentioned. It was real. It was old. It was from Earth, from before humans had even left their home planet, and it said exactly what it said. The human government could not stop this marriage. They could only recognize it or not recognize it. And when the news reached Earth, the human government decided to recognize it. They decided that Hayes was exercising a basic human right. They decided that this could be a symbol of human and alien friendship. They were divided. Some wanted to attack the station. Some wanted to destroy the marriage. But others, younger, started to question their own culture. If humans could accept a broken princess, maybe should too. If humans could see value in someone broken, maybe had been wrong. Brought Lyra to. Lyra was crying. Her black eyes shone with tears like dark diamonds. "You did this for me?" she asked. "Yes," said. "You do not even know me," Lyra said. "We have only known each other for 2 weeks." "I know you," said. "I know that you are strong. I know that you are kind. I know that you deserve better than what your family gave you. That is enough. That is all I need to know." Lyra's 4 arms came around. She held him very tight. This was not how she showed emotion, but she had learned to hold like humans hold. "I will marry you," she said, "but not because I have no choice. I will marry you because I want to, because you are the first person who saw me as a person and not a failure." The commander received orders from Lyra's father, the Emperor. The Emperor had decided not to attack. The Emperor had decided to accept the marriage. But the Emperor had also decided that Lyra was no longer his daughter. She was removed from the royal family. She was removed from the line of power. She was, to the, no longer important. Heard this news and felt angry, but Lyra just nodded. "I was never important to them anyway," she said. "Now I am important to you. That is a better thing." The station prepared for a wedding. Humans and aliens began to work together to make something beautiful. Scientists became workers. Soldiers became friends. Everyone wanted to help, not because they understood the marriage completely, but because they understood that something important was happening, something that might change how 2 species saw each other. Looked at Lyra as she moved through the station. She still limped. Her arms still did not work correctly. Her mind still worked in ways that were different from mine's, but her smile was real, her laughter was real, her hope was real. And knew that he had made the right choice. He knew that one small action, one decision to help someone in need, had started something that might change the galaxy. It had all begun with a broken transport conduit and a princess who fell through it. It was continuing because one human man had the courage to say that she was worth loving. The wedding took place in the main assembly hall of the research station. They had decorated it with lights and flowers brought from Seven. The flowers were strange colors, purple and silver, and they smelled like sweet metal. Humans and aliens sat together, something that had never happened before. Wore a black suit. It was simple and clean. He did not look important. He did not try to look important. He just looked like himself. Lyra's dress was different. Humans had made it together with engineers. It was white, bright white like snow. It moved with her body. It did not hide her damaged arm or her weak leg. Instead, it showed them. It showed that she was beautiful because of what she was, not in spite of it. Lyra's father, the Emperor, was there. He sat in the front row. His face showed nothing. His eyes were like ice. He had removed Lyra from the royal family. He had said she was no longer his daughter, but he had come to the wedding anyway. The ceremony was short. The human commandant who performed it said words about love and choice. She said that humans had learned over thousands of years that love was not about perfection. Love was about seeing someone completely and choosing them anyway. When it was time for to promise his love, he spoke very simply. "I promise to see you," he said to Lyra. "I promise to believe in you. I promise to stand beside you when the world tells you that you are not good enough, because you are good enough. You are more than good enough." When it was time for Lyra to promise her love, she made a different choice. She stood up, even though standing was hard for her. She stood without help. "I want to speak," she said. Her voice was strong and clear. Everyone became very quiet. "In my world," Lyra said, "weakness is seen as something shameful, something that should be hidden, something that means you do not deserve love or respect. My family believed this. My doctors believed this. Most of my people believed this." She looked at her father. He did not look away. "But I have learned something different," Lyra continued. "I have learned from humans that difference is not the same as weakness. I have learned that what makes us different can make us strong. Is not strong because he is perfect. Is strong because he is willing to love someone who is not perfect. In my world, this makes him weak. In my world, that would mean he deserves nothing." She paused. Her black eyes shone with tears. "But I do not want to live in my world anymore," she said. "I want to live in a world where I can be honest about what I cannot do. I want to live in a world where people can be broken and still be loved. I want to live in a world like the one came from." Then Lyra said her promises. She promised to trust. She promised to build a life with him that would be different from anything they had known. She promised to fight against the idea that disabled beings were worthless. When the ceremony ended, the hall erupted. Humans cheered. Some aliens cheered with them. Some aliens left in anger, but many stayed. Many wanted to see what would happen next. The Emperor stood up. He walked to Lyra. His face was still unreadable. "You have taken my daughter away from her family," the Emperor said too. "No," replied. "She took herself away. I just helped her understand that she had the choice." The Emperor looked at Lyra. "You have brought shame to our house." "Then maybe your house needs to know a different kind of pride," Lyra said. She was not afraid of him. For the first time in her life, she was not afraid of her father. The Emperor was quiet for a very long time. Then he did something that made everyone gasp. He reached out one of his 4 arms and touched Lyra's face. "You are stronger now," he said. "This human has made you stronger, or perhaps you were always strong and we could not see it." He turned to leave. Then he stopped. "I will tell our people what I saw here. I will tell them that perhaps we have been wrong about many things." The reception lasted until late at night. Humans and aliens danced together. They had different ways of moving than humans, but they learned. And Lyra danced together, slowly so that Lyra's bad leg could keep pace. "We did it," Lyra said as they danced. "We did," agreed. "Now what?" Lyra asked. "What happens tomorrow?" "Tomorrow we leave," said. "I submitted my resignation. We are going to Earth. You wanted to see new worlds. Earth is the place where I came from. It is beautiful and broken and wonderful. I want to show it to you." Lyra rested her head against his chest. "I have never left the system before. I have never been allowed to explore. I have never been allowed to choose my own path." "You can choose now," said. "You can choose anything you want." Came to find them near the end of the night. She was happy and sad at the same time. She was happy for them, but sad that was leaving the station. "You did good," she told. "You did something really good here." "We did it together," said. "None of this happens without you." Hugged them both. "Go," she said. "Go to Earth. Go build that life. Go show the galaxy that love is stronger than anything else." The next morning, and Lyra boarded a human transport ship. As they left the station, Lyra looked back at the warship. Her father was standing at a window. He watched them leave. He did not wave, but he did not fire weapons either. He just watched. The ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. The galaxy behind them became just stars and distance. Lyra held his hand. Her hand was cold and smooth like crystal, but it was warm too, warm with life and hope. "Tell me about Earth," she said, and began to tell her stories. Stories about blue oceans and green mountains. Stories about music and art and people who had learned to love each other despite their differences. Stories about a home he had never thought he would return to, but now had a reason to. As the ship flew toward Earth, neither of them knew what would happen next. They did not know that Lyra's words at the wedding would spread across the galaxy. They did not know that other disabled aliens would hear about the princess and feel hope. They did not know that they were starting something much bigger than themselves. They just knew that they were together. They just knew that they had chosen each other. And that was enough. 6 months after the wedding, and Lyra stood in a small house on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. The sun was setting, and the sky was turning colors that Lyra had never seen before. Red and orange and purple mixed together in ways that the sky never did. "It is very beautiful," Lyra said. She stood at the window with beside her. The house was small and simple. It was made of wood and glass. The ocean was only 100 meters away. Seagulls called out to each other in the distance. The sound of waves never stopped. Lyra had adapted to Earth better than anyone expected. Her damaged leg had gotten stronger with physical therapy. Her arms still did not work right, but she had learned to do most things with her other 3 arms. More importantly, she had learned to accept that her body was what it was, and that was okay. Worked on a project now. He had left his job at the research station. Instead, he worked with Lyra on something new. They had started a foundation. The foundation was called Visible Value. The foundation did one thing. It helped disabled aliens across the galaxy. It found them. It told them that they were worthy of love. It helped them understand that their bodies and minds were not problems to be solved. It helped them find places in the galaxy where they could be accepted. The work was slow, but it was working. Messages came to them every day. Messages from aliens who had heard about the princess and her human husband. Aliens who had been told they were not worthy of love. Aliens who had thought their lives were finished. One message came from a warrior who had lost 2 of her 6 limbs in battle. She said that she had been told to end her life. But then she heard about Lyra, and she decided to live. She decided to fight not against her enemies, but against the idea that broken beings should not exist. Another message came from a young whose mind worked very differently from other. He had been locked away in a facility his entire life. His family had been ashamed of him. But when he heard that Lyra had found freedom, he escaped. He contacted Lyra's foundation. Now he was being helped to build a real life. Messages came from two other broken who had been hidden away. Lyra responded to each message personally. She told each one that they mattered. She told each one that their family's shame was not their fault. She told each one that there were people in the galaxy who wanted to help them. Watched his wife work. He saw how she had changed since the day she came through the broken transport conduit. She was no longer afraid. She was no longer ashamed. She was no longer hiding. But she was also learning something else. She was learning that the galaxy was harder than she had thought. She was learning that changing minds took time and patience. She was learning that not everyone would accept disabled aliens. Some aliens fought against them. Some governments tried to block their work. One night Lyra sat on the beach. The ocean stretched out in front of her, endless and dark, sat beside her. "People hate what we are doing," Lyra said. "The government tried to make it illegal for us to help their citizens. The Empire sent us a message saying we are interfering with their culture. They are afraid," said. "They are afraid that if disabled beings are accepted, then they have been wrong. If disabled beings can have worth and value, then their old ways were cruel and wrong." "Is that enough?" Lyra asked. "Is fear enough to keep people from doing the right thing?" "Sometimes," said, "but not always, and we do not need to change everyone. We just need to change enough people that disabled aliens have a chance. We just need to make it so they do not have to hide or be ashamed." Lyra leaned her head on shoulder. "When I fell through that broken transport conduit, I did not know my life would change like this. I thought I would hide and be miserable forever. I thought that was my life." "And now?" asked. "Now I know that my life was just beginning," Lyra said. "I know that what I thought was the end was actually just the beginning." 3 months later, news came that changed everything. The Emperor made an announcement. He said that society had been wrong. He said that the Empire would stop the practice of hiding disabled members. He said that culture valued perfection too much. He said that it was time to change. When the message reached Lyra, they could not believe it was real. But it was. The Emperor had decided to follow his daughter's example. Other species followed. The Empire started a new program to help disabled warriors who could no longer fight. The government opened their facilities and let disabled go free. Species after species began to understand what Lyra had been trying to teach them. It started small, but it grew. A year after they arrived on Earth, Lyra told that she was pregnant. Their child would be the first hybrid of human, and the child would have 2 parents from completely different worlds. The child would be unique and different and new. "Do you think people will accept our child?" Lyra asked. "Some will," said. "Some will not, but enough will. Enough people now understand that different is not the same as wrong." When the child was born, it was beautiful. The child had dark eyes and Lyra's crystalline skin that shone with light. The child had 4 arms and 2 legs, a perfect combination of both parents. The child was named Emma, a human name and a name combined into one. Held his daughter in his arms, he looked at Lyra. She was tired but smiling. "What do you want to teach her?" Lyra asked. "The truth," said. "I want to teach her that she comes from 2 worlds. I want to teach her that both worlds have worth. I want to teach her that love is more powerful than hate. And I want to teach her that broken things can be the most beautiful things of all." Lyra reached out with one of her hands and touched Emma's face. Emma wrapped one tiny hand around Lyra's finger. The baby was only minutes old, but she was already a symbol of something new, something that the galaxy had never seen before. Years later, when Emma was old enough to understand, Lyra told her the story. They told her about the broken transport conduit. They told her about how her mother had come to her father by accident. They told her that the best things in life often come by accident, when you are just brave enough to help someone in need. Emma grew up knowing that her mother's body was different. She grew up knowing that her father had chosen her mother not because she was perfect, but because she was perfect the way she was. Emma grew up in a galaxy that was slowly becoming better. A galaxy where disabled beings had worth. A galaxy where love was more important than perfection. And the story of how a broken princess and a simple human worker changed the galaxy began to spread. It began to become a legend. It began to change what beings across the galaxy believed about value and worth and the true meaning of strength. None of it would have happened if a transport conduit had not broken. None of it would have happened if Hayes had not been willing to help a stranger. None of it would have happened if Lyra had not been brave enough to accept help from someone so different from herself. But it did happen, and the galaxy was never the same.